Good morning, Bande Matram, welcome all of you. Here we are going to have a brief discussion on mastery over speech. Mastery over speech is the topic of discussion for right now. It's a beautiful topic, how to get mastery over the speech. When we talk of the speech, we must know about the silence. This is the 17th episode we are discussing right now on speech control. 17. 17th episode we keep discussing on speech control. Previously, a lot of things we have discussed in the same way, here in this same point of time. So here Sri Aurobindo gives the clue how to control the speech and to get mastery over speech. So many ways we have discussed the Mother and Sri Aurobindo in the previous episodes, and we have seen to control the speech, to gain control over the speech. Even in few names you have seen to learn to be silent. Look before you leave. Don't speak unnecessary words. Never use inexactitude. Idle gossip must be got rid of. You must control your tongue. Silence is gold. Many things we have heard of during our recent discussion. This is the number 17 of our speech control we keep listening. And here is also the message from Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo how guides us to control our speech, to gain control over our speech. Very interesting one we keep discussing. Sri Aurobindo starts the sentence like this: the best way to get mastery over speech and action. Speech and action to get mastery, because we don't know. To some extent we practice, to some extent we appreciate, we accept, but most of the time it is not sufficient, I will know. To get the mastery means you will be a master over your speech. While controlling speech, you must be a master, own master. That is what is required. The best way to get mastery over your speech and action is to learn to stand back from the outer mind. To stand back, many ways we have listened. Just now I was speaking, look before you leap. Once it is uttered, it hits anything or anybody at any point of time under any condition, and it will never to return. For that actually you have to go for unnecessarily apologizing. Unnecessarily you are going for the apologizing what is not actually necessary. But that's what we are doing. It is a bad habit. So what we have to do? To stand back from the outer mind and vital. Outer mind and vital. Normally we keep staying, we keep moving, keep circulating in our outer mind and outer vital. But from the outer mind and outer vital, you have to stand back and achieve an inner silence. Inner silence, that's what will be known what really the silence is. Why should we observe silence? We must know the silence, because just now before some time I kept simultaneously, when speech is there, simultaneously silence is also moving with it. Sri Aurobindo quotes silence, the mystic birthplace of the soul. Mystic birthplace of the soul, not about the mind and the vital. Here, Sri Aurobindo quotes 4 or 5 lines I want to quote from Savitri. Hidden in silent depths, the word is firm. It is not important from somewhere else, but from within. Hidden in silent depths. Depths always silent. You can find a turmoil on the surface only, storm on the surface. Once you go inside, rush inside, go into the depths, definitely you will find all stillness, all quiet, all calm. That could be seen. Hidden in silent depths, the word is formed. The word is formed in the silent depths. From hidden silences, second step. Hidden in the silent depths, the word is formed. This word is formed, hidden in the silent depths. And from the hidden silences, second is hidden silence, silent depths, then hidden silences. The act is born. That's what we keep discussing on word and act. Act is born, first word, then act. And once this word is formed, the act is born, then they have to come out. Where? Into the voiceful mind. Mind is always voiceful. The laboring world, where what really we come across at the each point of time, each instant of time. In secrecy wraps the seed, the eternal source. The farmer goes and wraps a seed, even you have got the ability, experience of putting the seed, sowing the seeds. In secrecy wraps the seed, the eternal source. Why? Silence, the mystic birthplace of the soul. Silence, the mystic birthplace of the soul. You must. So many things have been occurring here in 5 lines. You can see. First, a word is formed hidden in the silent depths. After the word is formed, the second comes the act. The act is born from hidden silences. And they don't, once they are formed and they are born, like word and act, they don't stay inside the depths. They come out into the voiceful mind, into the laboring world. Then, after coming, you are getting the seed on your hand. But you have to, how you have to utilize. In secrecy wraps the seed, the eternal source. Nothing up to you, mind, life, and body. The eternal source, it keeps doing, still doing, and it will be doing. Because what is that silence? The mystic birthplace of the soul. We have not evaluated, we have not gone for that eternal source. Because silence is the mystic birthplace of the soul. Soul is not coming all at a sudden to you. It keeps moving, life after life, taking birth, rebirth. How many you don't know. Still, how many to go you don't know. Still, it keeps moving, it keeps coming. Here, steer in this observation how to get the mastery over the mind, not only on the mastery over the speech and action. Already we have seen the word and action. Is to learn to stand back from the outer mind and vital. Outer mind and vital. From there, you try to stand back. Stand back and achieve an inner silence. Not only stand back, but achieve an inner silence. Not the outer silence, because from outer mind and vital you have to come back, stand back, and achieve an inner silence from which one can act on the outer self, inside outward, inner to outward is the rule. So many things have been spoken by Sri Aurobindo in this guidance, in his guidance in this message. First, you have to gain over the mastery over what? Speech and action. Then for that, what we have to do? We have to learn what? To stand back. From what? From the outer mind and vital. Okay, we are standing. Then some output there will be there, some achievement will be there. Yes. You must achieve an inner silence. Inner silence from which one can act on the outer self. Inner silence that will act on the outer self. For that, actually, it is badly necessary, absolutely essential to gain mastery over the speech. The second step, the mother tries to to give one beautiful concluding remark on that. You can remember this outer silence, inner silence, controlling the outer self. We have to learn to maintain so and so. Already Sri Aurobindo has put it. This outer silence is very favorable to inner peace. From inside outward, inner silence shaping the outer self, inside outward. But normally, outside things are controlling the system or inside. Once this outer silence is very favorable to inner peace, outer silence is very much favorable to inner peace, and if you have a goodwill and a constant aspiration, two things you must have. Goodwill and a constant aspiration, you will be able to create an atmosphere conducive to progress. You must have two things. One, goodwill. Second, constant aspiration. Initially, we have heard and learned about will and aspiration. But still, Mother is using some adjectives like goodwill. Second, aspiration before aspiration is constant aspiration. And with that, you will be able to create an atmosphere conducive to progress. With that, goodwill and a constant aspiration. If both are there, then you can create an atmosphere. You can create. Atmosphere is already created, we are going. But here the opposite characteristic. You are creating the atmosphere for the yogic progress, conducive to the progress. For that actually, outer silence is very much favorable to inner peace. Outer silence, to try to create the atmosphere, to try to create the atmosphere of the peace and silence. To inner peace, if this outer silence is created, it will be favorable to get the inner peace. And if you have the goodwill, inner peace is created, outer silence, then inner peace. Third is, if you have goodwill and constant aspiration, then you will be able to create an atmosphere conducive to the progress. For that actually we are here. For that actually we are here. That's what to be known, and really it must be realized. That's what is essentially conducive for our progress in the sadhana. For that actually people teach from the very old phase of time. They kept leaving entire crowding world, family, everything they leave behind and go to the silent place in quest of the solemnity. And there they could be able to find a place for them to sit in contemplation and do the sadhana. It was continuing for years, maybe for centuries. From birth after birth, they created something. But thing is that Sri Aurobindo and Mother told, no, you don't have anything to do. You don't have anything to leave behind this world and go outside. Everything is actually centered, cornered around you. If you can be able to see, then you can also create everything for your own. That is what is required. Because silence, this is not somewhere in the outside world. You have to gain the inner silence, inner peace. For that actually you have to go deep inside. But instead of going deep inside, you don't know what is the mark, the path, the way. Or that the concept is not there in your mind. We are moving here and there to get the inner peace, silence and all. And categorically Mother Course said in the course, you have to go deep inside. And once you go inside, you can find the silence. Not only the silence, still you go inside. In absolute silence lives an absolute power, if this is done. In absolute silence lives an absolute power. You know, in the silence there is power. This power is much more conducive and favorable than not only with the power, with the outward power with which we are acting and speaking. This power is very much favorable to achieve the transformation. For that actually, again and again we have to keep trying to go into the depths of our being. There sleeps an absolute power, and the environment means in absolute peace. In that absolute peace, in sleeps in absolute power. Waking, once this absolute power is waking, it can transform itself and all around. For that, actually, we are doing the sadhana. And that absolute silence is absolutely essential. Thank you. For now, we'll meet tomorrow.